Hi, and welcome back to RedRum Media. I'm your host, Kay. Happy Hump Day, and happy holidays, everyone. We have some interesting updates to discuss in the Alexis Sharkey case, so let's go ahead and just jump right on in. So, Wednesday, which is today, December 23rd of 2020, an admin of the group Alexis Sharkey Case Updates and Discussion posted a screenshot. This screenshot is allegedly a conversation between Alexis and Tom, her husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband, or I guess whatever he was calling himself at the time, while she was on her girls' trip. I think they said it was in Mexico, and these messages allegedly took place on November 8th of 2020. In this screenshot, Tom sends what appears to be a screenshot of a funny picture. It states, "Full disclosure, we haven't had one drop of alcohol the entire day," along with OMG and a laughing face. So, nothing harmless there, right? Well, she responds by saying, ha ha ha, actually 4 times, ha 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 ha, so she was laughing. While he proceeds to say, "Since you are 100% social media and not ever living in the moment, I feel it's fitting, and you will embrace the social media swarm. I'm filing for divorce. You need way more than I am, and I feel inadequate to fill your expectations. You are a You are a selfish individual, and I'm sorry I'm not the same as you. It will be okay. You will persevere. You need what is going to happen." What? Yeah. You need what is going to happen. Anyway, I'll be moved out before you get home. I wish you well, and you will do great. I will always love you and only wish you the best. Keep on social media. Your ex-husband. Alexis responds and says, "This is because I'm posting on my story, ? You know, we literally came here to be creative and take pictures. I'm on a girl's creative getaway, and you view this as a problem." Now, I don't know what else happened after that, as there was nothing more as far as context to that conversation. But as you can see here, it appears that this conversation came from Instagram and not even a text message or anything, just from Instagram. So I guess it's possible that he was upset about something on Instagram. I don't know. So just a few things here. He told local media that they were fine, didn't he? He said everything was hunky-dory and shit. No problem in paradise, no trouble in paradise. They even spent part of Thanksgiving together, right? And it was allegedly cooked them dinner, breakfast, lunch, whatever in the world it was. Well, according to Steve Campion and ABC 13, he called Alexis his everything and said they shared a Thanksgiving meal together Thursday morning. He said the loss of his life partner has left him destroyed. Sharkey said he's received death threats since his wife's disappearance, and death made headlines across the country. Sharkey described his marriage as happy. He said they weren't filing for a divorce. She wasn't happy. She was stressed. I would cuddle her to make her strong. She was an amazing woman. Sir, my wife was an amazing woman. She really was. There's always other sides to everything. I was the one holding her, cuddling her, building her back up, said Sharkey. I don't need to set the record straight. I'll let it play out the way it is. I know what my life was with my wife. He said he went to Harris County Medical Examiner's office on Sunday, 2 days after she went missing, looking for Alexis. He continues on, "It's horrible. People are talking tons of crap. I'm getting death threats and stuff. None of that bothers me. What bothers me is that the world and everybody in it focuses on all the stuff that doesn't matter." Does this stuff matter? Does it not matter? You be the judge of that. "Should have been focused on finding my wife," said Sharkey. She was found before really anybody knew that she was missing, so that stands out to me. But anyway, I'll continue. "Everybody was still looking for her, and I located her Sunday morning in the coroner's office. They couldn't ID my wife. They didn't know who she was. She was just there." Sharkey said when he saw his wife, he warned her not to drive. So we continue on with some statements that he was telling local news shortly after Alexis disappeared and shortly after her body was found. "She understood me. I understood her. We didn't fight when she left. I just told her she couldn't drive under the influence," said Sharkey. "She left anyhow. This is where we're at. The husband didn't elaborate on those claims or other specifics about the circumstances. He continued to say that he's been cooperating with homicide detectives and said he turned over all of his wife's messages, emails, and phone calls. He said he feels confident the Houston Police Department can figure out what's going on. Going to find everyone that was involved. So he said, going to find everyone that was involved. And he abruptly ended the conversation. He said, I'm sorry. I'm not a jerk. I'm just destroyed. Now, there's a theory that's going on, but bear with me. Just before this information and screenshot came out, we got some information from Tanya Ricardo, a good friend of Alexis Sharkey. You know, the one she met on Bumble BFF? Well, Tanya Ricardo posted her version of a timeline to a Facebook group called Alexis Sharkey Case Updates and Discussion. I think it would be best to just discuss the bullet points directly from her post. That way I'm reading her words verbatim, or well as verbatim as I can, because it's handwriting and sometimes I tried to read it all and sometimes, anyway. So I'll try my best, but I just want to get out there her words verbatim so that there's no real confusion in the story and what she says happened. So here we go. Now, she says on Thursday morning, November 26th at 9:35 a.m., Alexis sends a text to the group saying, Happy Thanksgiving. Now, they had a group of friends, and that group of friends is allegedly who that message went to. At 9:49 a.m., Tanya sends a text to the group saying, If anyone needs a place to go tonight, my house is always open. At 10:50 a.m., Alexis sends a text to Tanya, and this is a private text, saying, Does your fam do a big thing all day? Tanya responds, Yeah, kind of. We just drink and cook. Des will be over at 5 p.m. At 10:57, Alexis responds, Yeah, if it is not I think she means not a problem, but it doesn't say that. I would love to get out of my house, LOL. I think this is at, I don't know, I'm having a hard time seeing exactly what the timestamp on this one is. I think it's maybe 10:57 the same time, or maybe sometime at 11 something. It says, Tanya responds, You are always welcome here. Love you like a sis. Sorry, it's kind of hard to read handwriting sometimes. So on Thursday evening, November 26th of 2020, at 5:07 p.m., Alexis arrives at Tanya's in her Jeep. And it says that family is over. This is Tanya's family, to my understanding. She had said that she had family over. So if you see where it says that Des was coming over at 5, well, Tanya shows up shortly after that. Tanya says that she was the first one to show up even. Friday morning on November 27th of 2020, just after midnight, it's 12:30 a.m., Alexis leaves Tanya's with Seb in his vehicle and they go to the bar. At 2:54, Alexis texts Tanya, You up? At 7:26 a.m., Tanya responds, I am now. Are you okay? At 9:02 a.m., Alexis responds, I was fine. I was going to grab my stuff, but I didn't realize what time it was. I drove home. At 10:11, Tanya responds, I can bring it to you. Thanks again. Love that you came. At 11:11 a.m., Alexis says, I have so much shit there. I'll come back, but thanks for having me. At 11:16 a.m., Tanya says, might as well move in, LOL. At 11:26 a.m., Alexis responds, living on the couch here, so wouldn't be much different, haha. At 11:26 a.m. again, Tanya responds, he gave you the couch, with a sad face. At 11:27 a.m., Alexis says, no, I took it. I sleep better on it than he does. I've actually been sleeping on it for months. Friday evening, November 27th of 2020, at 5:40 p.m., the timeline continues. Alexis texts Tanya, are y'all doing anything exciting tonight or just staying in? At 5:41 p.m., Tanya responds, I'm staying in tonight. My mom leaves tomorrow. Let's go out tomorrow night. What are your plans? To my understanding, I thought they were supposed to have a movie night at Tanya's that Saturday, but I guess this says that they might have been going out. I'm not exactly sure. But just want to throw that out there since I've heard that as well. Alexis continues at 5:46 p.m. and says, I don't have any yet. I just realized it's Friday. LOL. At 6:05 p.m., Tanya says, I know. I'm not even it says, let's see here. It's hard to read this. I'm not sure how it's already Friday, I think is what that says. Now, she continues on with the last time anyone spoke to Lex, and she lists initials. So I'm pretty sure this is Friday evening, November 27th of 2020. And it says at 5:19, she talked to LB. At 6:01, she talked to CT. At 6:05, she talked to Tanya, TR. And at 6:28, she talked to SM. So that is the timeline. Tanya says, for those of you asking, here's the first half of the timeline. So I will continue to bring you updates on that timeline. And if there is a part 2 that's posted, I'll also go ahead and put that out there as well and go over that information. Okay, so something else I wanted to touch base on was the interview Steve Campion with local news ABC had with the man who ultimately found Alexis, Saturday morning, November 28th of 2020. The man explained how he can't stop thinking about the horrible situation. He called the find bizarre and said Sharkey wasn't wearing a single piece of clothing. She looked like someone delicately placed her in the brush along the road. It plays back in my head every day. I constantly see her lying there. It plays back in my head, said Richardson. It's like she just got out of the tub. Her body was clean. There was nothing on her body. Her body was clean. Richardson is convinced someone is responsible. She kind of was in the fetal position, and the way that the body was laid. I think somebody actually laid her there. They didn't just throw her out, said Richardson. It's just a mystery at this moment. I hope they find out who did it and bring justice, so that at least the family and friends can be at ease. Richardson said he didn't see any visible injuries or wounds to the body. Now, this information was just coming out as I was trying to get information together to recap the case updates from yesterday, December 22nd. So, one of the big things that I wanted to talk about with this interview was an interview with Alexis's mom. So not only was there an interview with this guy who found Alexis's body, they also did other interviews with Alexis's mom and some of Alexis's friends. We also found out that through some of these interviews that there was a very small private viewing held for Alexis this past Friday, December 18th of 2020. This was informed to the news by Stacey Robinalt, which is Alexis's mom. She spoke with Fox 26 reporter, One of these days I'm going to get it together. She spoke with a Fox 26 reporter within the last few days. She also said that she ended up almost having to fight with Tom to get Alexis's body home after he failed to do anything with Alexis as her next of kin at that time. Later, the next of kin was changed to her parents, as we later found out, and I had showed you in previous videos. It seems as if Tom just kind of stopped cooperating with her family and almost made them lose all hope, she told the reporter. Thankfully, they were eventually able to say their last goodbyes this past weekend. She also said that this whole debacle did not prevent an autopsy from being performed. That one was actually done immediately. And her mom said that they were still waiting on a few reports for the autopsy, so they weren't releasing anything until they had it all. The family seems to just really need some answers, and I can't even blame them. Now, another friend, Allie, told Fox 26, "We thought it would give us more closure than it actually did. We did get to see her body. It just didn't look like her." Now, through these interviews, we also found out that Tom Sharkey actually was not at the service that was held for Alexis. And it's being said that he wasn't even invited, which if he has absolutely anything to do with this, or if he has been fighting with the family in any way, or even making it difficult for them, I can completely understand why. There has to be at least a little bit of hostility in between them, and if there isn't, I mean, good for them, but I've seen this all too often and all too many times. There's definitely a lot of hostility between families in instances like this. We also find out more information from Fox 26. They say Houston police told Fox 26 on Tuesday, so this was just yesterday, that they are still investigating and they are not naming any suspects or persons of interest. They did not say that there are not any suspects or persons of interest. They simply said that they are not naming any suspects or persons of interest right now at this time. Now, in my experience, this is what they usually say when they're not willing to disclose any other further information. Although they may have it, they may or they may not. I frequently tell people that they need to listen and read what is being stated and what is not being stated in statements like this. They also need to consider who made these statements and who didn't, when were these statements made, and to whom, and so on. So do you catch my drift on this? I know I brought up in one of the last 2 videos about the missing persons investigations report in addition to the actual report of the scene, but that there were no obvious or apparent signs of trauma to the body observed. Now, I was kind of assuming, and you know what assuming does, right? So in the beginning, when that statement was made by local news media and other sources, I immediately was like, oh, okay, well, they did an autopsy. Now they're saying that they're waiting on more information and more results from the autopsy, i.e. toxicology, etc. So I'm thinking, okay, the medical examiner must have said that. The coroner must have said that. Actually, that statement appears to have come directly from a law enforcement officer or a detective that was on scene at some point in time after Alexis was found. It does not appear to come from the medical examiner. In fact, I can't find anything that came from the medical examiner or the coroner, period, as far as the statement is concerned. So I just want to put that out there and let everybody understand that, yes, they have said things that are very specific, but we need to determine who is saying those things and about what. And sometimes when someone says they don't have, they're not naming a suspect or a person of interest, people take that as they don't have one. And that's not the case. When law enforcement doesn't have one, I have been flat out told we don't have one. Now, I've also been told they're not willing to disclose that information in a number of different ways. But most of the time when they say they are not naming a suspect or person of interest, they have someone in mind. They're just not willing to give that information out. You see, you kind of have to read between the lines. I'm constantly telling my husband, stop reading between the lines that aren't there. But when you're talking to law enforcement and when you're trying to go through a thorough investigation and you're researching something, sometimes you really do have to interpret the lines that aren't there because they're telling you something and they're not telling you something all at the same time. You get what I'm saying? So they're saying that they couldn't rule out foul play. They didn't say anything else. They didn't say it was an OD, like people are running with. They didn't say it was anything self-inflicted. They didn't say that it was an accident, but people are running with some of these scenarios. So I just want you to keep it in mind. We really have to wait for the information to come back. Now, one of the key takeaways from all of this is who she went to the bar with on Thursday evening. Tanya wasn't saying at first, but she's now saying, as of December 23rd, that person she went to the bar with was in fact Seb. We just recently found out that Alexis went to the bar with a friend on Thanksgiving night after spending the evening with friends. Her friend Tanya later says that this person's name is Seb, like I just mentioned. It's my understanding this is supposed to be the just friends guy she met in Mexico. You know, the one that Tanya and or Kendra spoke about in their recent interview that I just mentioned. Well, they clarified that he had an alibi that evening and that Alexis went missing as he was alleged to be at work. Now, all of this new information put together makes me, among many others, wonder if maybe something happened involving a certain someone. You know, that certain someone might have found out about Seb, or whatever his real name might be. If that's not it, I think it might just be short for something. But I'm beginning to wonder if Alexis was maybe caught off guard while she was in the shower. Maybe she was changing or watching movies, as she had mentioned to friends. Maybe she was doing a number of other things to pass the time. But this would explain a few things, like why she may have been found the way that she was found. As always, our hearts and prayers go out to all of those affected by this seemingly senseless loss of this young woman's life. We'll continue to bring you updates as we get them, so please make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already, and turn on that notification bell. So, what I want to know is if all of this information changes your mind about this case at all. I want you to leave a comment below with your thoughts. Please also like this video, or dislike it, I guess, if you must. I mean, I did kind of fumble upon my words a little bit here, and I really don't want to edit right now. With the holidays, I need to get this out. But if you really like it, we would really appreciate that you share it if you see fit. Now, I don't know what you see fit, but hell, I don't know. I just hope y'all have a happy holiday, you stay safe, and you're happy. We'll see y'all next time. I'm out.